Hi everyone, this is Bev from Art by Bedell, and I am so thankful you have decided to join me again today. I am beginning my first Christmas/winter journal out of, I believe there are 4 of them that I have supplies for that I want to get done. So this one is going to be the pink and blue one, and here is my cleanup paper / mixed media paper that I am working on. We'll come back to this. I have chosen these papers. Here is the mixed media paper cover, and then inside I have digital collection I've chosen, my coffee stain copy papers, and then I've gone through my stash and just picked out different papers that I thought would look beautiful. This feels Actually, it looks more like wallpaper, but it's not wallpaper. I have some ledger paper here. Let's see, what else do we have? Some more copy paper. I have some book paper and some jelly prints with blue and pink on them. Craft paper that has been sprayed with some stains and gessoed. A piece of vellum. Another digital, I'll link the whose it is down below. And then another piece of my mixed media paper, some child's writing paper, fine art paper, pretty much the same as what I usually add to my journals. And I have put them into 2 signatures. Here's the second signature. Again, the same papers. We've added some music paper to this signature. Ledger paper, copy paper, book paper. Let's see, what's with this book paper? Oh yeah, another piece of jelly print. Craft paper, some more vellum, digitals, child's writing paper. Those are my 2 signatures for this journal. Now, next I have, sorry, don't get dizzy here. I have some jingle bells I thought I would add maybe, and they're like really old and rusty. I have some embroidered, or not embroidered, they are crocheted snowflakes I made 100 years ago. And then I have pulled out of my stash different things like some snowflake brads, some gems, just things that I felt would go with the journal. Some of my fibers here, and I have a couple of yeah, they cut paper, whatever. Some flower softs. I have some snowflake confetti, fabric, some envelopes, some more fine art paper. Just different stuff that I might want to use in the journal. And then over here is just what I have on my desk whenever I do any journal, with stuff that I just normally add to it, like my ledger papers and different things. Then I have gone to my tote and I have pulled out white and silver. And then I also did gold, because I'm not sure if my accent is going to be gold or if it's going to be silver. But there's lace in here and there's ribbons in here. There's some more lace. There's some pink ribbon and some blue ribbon. So we're good to go on that account also. Now I'm going to show you my next step. So my next step is stenciling on my mixed media papers. Now, if you want to see how I did this, got this far with these papers, I'll put a link below. I have some gesso, and this is a Tim Holtz stencil, and I'm just going to randomly put some stencils, and even if it's not if it's not the whole stencil and it's only parts of it, if it's messy, I really don't care at this point. And this is pretty messy. I have to do a little bit better than that maybe. It doesn't matter because it's just a background. You may not see too much of it in the long run anyhow. So there's that one, and we'll just go down through and get some snowflakes on our paper. And we'll continue on and get all 4 of these pages done. And then after this is done and dried, I'll come back to you and show you the next step for these pages. I'm back, and I thought I'd show you what I have done so far. So for these papers, I have taken the stencil and the gesso, and I applied some snowflakes to my papers. And the stencil that I used was a Tim Holtz stencil, THSO50. Then I used my dotted stencil here, and then I went over it with some Rub and Buff Silver Leaf to highlight the stenciling. So I did that on these papers that I left you with that I was going to do, and then from there I took a brass stencil, and they are by Dreamweaver Stencil. One is LL398 and one is LL399. And I used modeling paste, and can you see that? This is a piece of deli paper that I had used as cleanup paper. So it has a little bit of blues and pinks and greens in the background, and I thought that would work nice. And I used these stencils, added my embossing paste, and then went over them with the green leafing also. So the next thing that I did was I took some dictionary paper. Now this one has some pink on it that was left over from another project where I just cleaned the stencil off. I used the same stencils, the same Dreamweaver stencils here, and applied modeling paste and then put the green leaf on top, or the gold leafing on top of that also. On this one for the dictionary paper, I had some that was coffee stained and speckled with gold. So then I added my Tim Holtz stencil and used Salty Ocean Distress Oxide and just used my finger and applied a little bit of the blue to that. I must say, I did not have very good luck stenciling with this stencil. Now, I've used these stencils before, Stampers Anonymous stencils before, and they've been great. So I did have a new can of gesso, and it may be that my gesso is thinner this time, which is why it didn't give me such a good image. But as long as I use the modeling paste, I was good. So this one again is the same thing with the coffee stain, the gold specks, and this time I put Distress Oxide Flamingo on it. And let's see, so flamingo in blue and silver is what I did with the dictionary paper. Then I had some craft paper that I had stained again with some coffee and then gessoed over top of. And this time I used this stencil. Don't know where it came from or who's by, but it's just some branches. And then I went over top of that with Evergreen Bow with my finger and just highlighted that, and then went over it again with the Rub and Buff, the silver leaf. Ledger paper. I used this stencil, and then I used the brass stencils. And I used modeling paste. Went over this one with the Evergreen Bow, Distress Oxide, and this one with the Flamingo, Distress Oxide. I really like the ledger paper. Okay, so piece of music paper. I embossed with my Cuttlebug and an embossing folder with a, I don't know whose embossing folder that was, and then I went over it with some flamingo and some silver leaf after I embossed it. More of the embossing with the same stencil, only on white paper, and I used the Salty Ocean, the flamingo, and the silver leaf on these. Then I had some chipboard, and I did silver leaf, and again the same colors, the Salty Ocean and the flamingo on these. All right, I had some check stubs, some vintage business type check stubs where you have the 3 checks and then you have the stubs over here. Anyhow, I had taken my Tim Holtz, it's an embossing folder that cuts them and embosses them. And I cut them out of this check stub that I tore into 3 pieces, and I saved the negative too because I thought that would look pretty cool on something, maybe not, but we're going to save it first before we throw it away. And I did the blue, the silver, and the pink. These are the snowflakes that I had cut out, with the embossing folder. So I did them in pink and silver and blue, and you get 2 different sizes from the folder when you do that. So these I just dearly love. I love that they're done on that paper that normally would have just been thrown away, and they just look so cool for our junk journal. So there's those. Then I took some vellum and I did some embossing with them also, and I don't know if you can see that or not. Put some blue and put some silver on this one and some blue on this one. Probably can see the silver or the blue better. So that's 2 pieces of vellum. Then on my pages in my signature covers in my journal, I took this stencil and put emboss and paste just down the edge. And then I added some evergreen bow and some of the silver leaf on top of them. And I did the front and the back of both of those. I really like that too. So that's where I am right now as far as getting some collage elements, pocket, tuck spots, whatever I decide to use all this stuff for in my new journal. So I'll see you again soon when I do the pages of the journal. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.